Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. After threatening to choke his girlfriend, a man on post-release supervision was arrested in Landers. On Friday at around 9:30 p.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies responded to a report of assault. Deputies say that the victim was threatened by her boyfriend. They say she fled from his home in the 1700 block of Deer Trail in Landers, running to the fire station on Jess Boulevard, where she called the sheriff's department. The victim told deputies that her boyfriend, Robert Jennings Jr., 41, physically assaulted her and threatened to choke her. Deputies contacted Jennings at the home on Deer Trail, where he was taken into custody. Jennings was found to be a felon convicted of drug and weapons charges. Deputies say they searched his home and found ammunition, which, as a felon, he cannot legally possess. Robert Jennings Jr. was arrested on suspicion of making criminal threats and violating post-release supervision and is being held at the West Valley Detention Center without bail. Yesterday's Yucca Valley Town Council meeting had a packed agenda, and online news editor Robert Hayden joins us with the first part of his recap.
Jennifer Cusack from the High Desert Water District started off the meeting with an update on the second phase of the sewer project, currently in the Country Club neighborhood of Yucca Valley. She says the project is currently on track and will be moving into the Sky Harbor area with a goal of completion in October of next year. The new Deputy Town Manager of Administrative and Community Services, Frank Lacchino, was present at his first meeting in the new role. Lacchino has lived in Yucca Valley despite town manager roles in other neighboring municipalities.
As a resident of Yucca Valley, this is home, and so it's more than a job. Thank you for having me.
Clayton Rardin presented the 2025-2026 Youth Commission, which had 40 total applicants. Town Manager Curtis Yakima and volunteer Amy Collinwood presented data on the 2025 San Bernardino County point-in-time count, which is how the county puts a number on unhoused individuals on a single day in January. First up, the numbers. This year in Yucca Valley, the point-in-time volunteers counted 14 unhoused individuals versus 72 last year, an 82% decrease. In total, there was a 57% decrease overall for both sheltered and unsheltered homeless persons in Yucca Valley. However, those dramatic numbers may not necessarily reflect the state of unhoused residents in the area, and Amy pointed out some of the deficiencies in using a single point in time to collect data on such a large system.
The two big takeaways for me is, one, the results didn't really make sense, nor does the idea that a single point in time is a sufficient way to measure such a complicated issue. And two, it seems like an opportunity to attract a lot of volunteers, and so I was surprised to be the only one.
Amy's a first-time volunteer, and she holds a master's in predictive analytics with the goal of improving data-driven decision-making for community leaders. Both Amy and Curtis had slides that offered some explanations for the low numbers, as well as some suggestions on how to better get a count on the number of unhoused in the area. It was a 3-hour meeting, and there was still presentations on the town's partnership with technology company Flock. They'll be installing AI-enabled cameras along Highway 62 that will scan license plates as well as cars in general to look for lawbreakers. There was also a hefty update on the town's beautification projects, as well as an update on the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter and the first meeting of the Animal Shelter Committee. There was also a heated public comments period as well. We'll have part 2 of our Yucca Valley Town Council coverage tomorrow, along with an agenda for the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter Committee meeting, which takes place on Thursday. And you can find a longer version of this story on our website, Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
The 29 Palms Planning Commission met yesterday. The meeting mostly revolved around study sessions. Annalise Kuiper was there and brings us the details.
Keith Gardner, the city's Community Development Director, asked the Commission to study the issue of temporary use permit regulations and to direct him and staff on how to proceed with special events in residential areas regarding acreage and zoning. As these categories do not fit neatly into the regulatory outlines, this will be studied further and the issue will be brought before the Planning Commission again at a later date. The next item to be studied was the matter of a community garden and the possible purchase of a geodesic dome that would house this garden. Right away, the issue of community safety and security was raised, as well as size and location of the garden. There would have to be inspections, a conditional use permit, building permits, and possibly architectural design. Work needs to be done on the definition of the community garden, which will be presented to the Commission at a later date. Animal keeping was next up for the study session. It was observed that the development code needs to be updated to specify which areas may have animals, which kind, and how many. A chart was displayed which names the animals, how much acreage is necessary for each animal, and the zoning requirements. The subject of allowing dog grooming businesses in residential areas was raised again, as were the accompanying issues of traffic, disposal of hair and manure, as well as excess noise. No decisions were made as only 3 commissioners were in attendance. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Annalise Kuiper.
The Morongo Valley Community Services District Board of Directors meets in regular session tonight. On their agenda is a review of a 2025 insurance report assessing Morongo Valley's fire risks and response strategies. The board will also review a rental agreement for firefighter protective equipment and continue their conversations about a new walking path and a cleanup day at Covington Park. The Morongo Valley CSD Board meets in public session today at 6 p.m. at Covington Park's multipurpose room. The City of 29 Palms announced their Pioneer Days judge and sheriff as community leaders, Jeff and Shirley Art. For this year's 89th annual event, the Arts will be recognized for their decades of service, compassion, and leadership. Arriving in 29 Palms in 1978, Jeff Art immediately began as director of the Parks and Recreation Department before moving into education for 35 years. He volunteered as a referee for the 29 Palms Youth Basketball Tournament and officiated numerous local youth sports. Jeff also served with the Joshua Tree National Park Search and Rescue Team. Shirley Art is a graduate of 29 Palms High School. While raising her children, she worked at the Alamo grocery store, later serving students at Monument High School and Copper Mountain College until her retirement. She has volunteered with Rotary, local churches, Food for Life, and women's groups that she organized to support military spouses. The City of 29 Palms invites the community to celebrate Jeff and Shirley Art as they are honored during this year's Pioneer Days festivities, October 16th through 19th. For more information on the 89th Annual Pioneer Days, visit 29palms.org. The town of Yucca Valley's Recreation Department has announced their full lineup of pickleball programs scheduled for this fall at Jacobs Park. These programs provide opportunities for players of all ages and skill levels to learn, improve, and compete, and sign-ups are open now. The new Pickleball Mindset class helps players develop mental strategies for stronger performances on the courts. For competitive players, the 4-week Pickleball Ladder League offers mixed doubles round-robin play for intermediate and advanced players. Pickleball clinics and drills will be available for beginners and intermediate players to refine their skills. Jacobs Park courts remain open for public use. You can purchase keys at the Recreation Office or at Town Hall through December 2025 for the full schedule of pickleball programming. Stop in to the Yucca Valley Community Center or visit a link in this story at Z107.7fm.com. The 29 Palms High School Lady Cats volleyball teams traveled to Indio last night for their league opener. The teams fought hard but came up short for the wins. Junior varsity lost 22-25 and 23-25. Alexis Archuleta was big at the net with 6 kills, 2 ace serves, and 7 assists. In varsity action, the Cats lost 16-15, 10-25, and 18-25. Sophomore Eva Tilley was a commander at the net with 8 touches, 3 blocks, and 2 kills. Senior Violet Graham was right there also with 7 touches, 4 blocks, and 1 kill. The Cats are now 0-1 in league, 5-7 overall. They will travel to Yucca Valley High School on Thursday to take on the Trojans. And finally, the 29 Palms High School girls varsity tennis team traveled to Indio High School to face the Rajas on Tuesday. The Wildcats lost 5-13. In singles action, Aviana Lipkins won 1 of her sets. Michaela Lohman-Rangel won 2 of her sets. Samantha Stevens won 1 of her sets. In doubles action, the team of Cassandra Matthew and Mary Harris won 1 of their sets. The Lady Cats travel to Yucca Valley High School on Thursday. They are 3-3 in the season. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.